This is the 2023 BMW Z4 M40i, and in today's Vehicle Visionary video, we're going to try to answer the question, is this the ultimate modern-day roadster? I borrowed this model from my friends here at Orr BMW in Shreveport, Louisiana. It's one of 4 that they have in stock, so if you'd like to know more, check out the link down in the description of the video. The things that come with this car that I believe give it an advantage is that, number one, it does have the classic roadster look, feel, and experience in driving. But at the same time, you have a roomy interior, kind of surprising how much cabin space you have here. It's also quiet with the top up or down. It has a surprising amount of cargo capacity. And one thing that I think a lot of people will like, I know people are typically not fans of capless fuel fill. Well, guess what? You have a kind of non-traditional in this day and age fuel cap that you actually screw on and off. So let's take a quick look at exactly what we have with this model. We're going to do a test drive, and then we'll see if we can tell you for sure if it's the ultimate modern-day roadster. The exterior color, if you're curious, is called Frozen Gray Metallic. That's accented by an ivory white interior color. And obviously some really sleek body lines here. The only thing I don't know that they're as easy to see with this frozen gray metallic exterior color, but we'll do the best we can to show you what's here. We're gonna have the rise that comes up off of the fender, works its way to a peak right here, comes up and kind of goes down into a little bit of a valley before it rises up towards the center bulge. And we repeat the same process on the other side in the opposite direction. BMW logo right here, your double kidney grille, which people have varying opinions on that. Obviously on this particular model, not gonna be as large as what we see on some of the SUVs. So if you like a little bit smaller kidney, well, there you go. A lot of gloss black here, and I don't know how good of a job I can show you at the active air vent that we have here with the front end, an air curtain allowing air to come through the front end, but it does exit right here. Again, kind of hard to see. You can see a little bit of daylight right there. But we are going to have the LED lighting here, the LED headlights, the LED daytime running lights. A very nice look with everything, including those blinkers right there that you want to make sure that you use. Yes, this BMW is equipped with blinkers. And then instead of the body colored mirror caps, we're going to have gloss black. A very nice look here. The turn signal indicators built into those side view mirrors, blind spot monitoring as well. Body color on your door handles. You can come up and lock or unlock the vehicle with, it's really not a button, it's just kind of a pad, a sensor of sorts right there. And for those who are wanting to know what the remote looks like, well, there you go. It's a very light but sturdy remote. So you'll have all of your features here that you would expect to have. And taking a look at the lines from the side of the vehicle, a very nice look. Anybody who says this is just a dressed up Toyota Supra, well, the lines are dramatically different, as you can see from this angle. We'll also take a look at the trunk that has the built-in spoiler, a very nice look. Finishing things off back here with the LED tail lights. We're gonna have our exhaust outlets back here, the rear diffuser, everything you expect to see, the Z4 logo, BMW logo, and the M40i logo on the right-hand side. Most BMW owners are not going to open the hood on their BMWs, but if you own a Z4, well, you might be the exception to the rule. And I like the fact here that you pull once, twice on that latch, and what that does, at least for myself, is makes it a whole lot easier to open this because I don't have to go hunting for a hood latch or anything like that. And at the price point of this vehicle, yes, you are going to have the hood struts to help hold everything up. And what it reveals is the turbocharged 3-liter inline 6-cylinder. It makes 382 horsepower, 369 pounds-feet of torque. That's a lot of horsepower for such a small, light car. Now, what does that do for gas mileage on this particular model? Well, let's take a look for ourselves and see. 23 highway, 23 city, 31 highway, 26 combined, and 3.8 gallons of gas is what BMW says you should use per every 100 miles you drive. I showed you earlier that you have the kind of non-traditional for this day and age fuel cap that you twist on and off. But you might wonder, how much fuel can I fit into the gas tank? This is a 13.7 gallon gas tank. And whether you're driving spiritedly out on the road or hitting it hard out on the road course, obviously the size of your tires are going to be important. A lot of grip on the ground. 255 on the width on the front tires. We're going to have the 35 series sidewall surrounding the 19-inch wheels. That red brake caliper with the M logo really sets things off. It really stands out against this exterior color. And as is common with BMW, we're going to have a little bit more meat on the ground here on the rear tires. 275 on the width. We'll have the 35 series sidewall, and once again, those same 19-inch wheels. Earlier I mentioned the fact that there's more cargo capacity here than you might expect, and the primary reason for that is because when the top is lowered, as it is right now, it doesn't actually take up any additional space within the trunk or rear cargo area. I'll get my equipment bag out of the way here so that you can see the 9.9 cubic feet of cargo capacity. You might think that's not a lot of space, but it actually is for a vehicle of this type. Let's see if I can get that open. You have a little bit of extra space right there if you want to take advantage of it. And there is some additional space here in the rear cargo area. Right over here you have a little bit of a cubby right there, net material to hold things in place. And there's tie downs. There's actually 4 of them back here, 2 in the front, 2 in the rear. So as you can see, that's what we have there. And right over here, if you're wondering, what is that? Well, kind of a multi-purpose area. BMW using space as best as possible. There are the fuses for the vehicle, but also some things for functionality. You have your tow hook here if you need an Allen wrench, or what some call an Allen key. It's right there. And yes, I know this isn't going to be the most popular thing, but where are you going to put a spare tire in this vehicle? Let's see if I can get that out. There's your tire repair kit. I'm going to lift that out just a little bit so you can see what's there. And looking in through the passenger side door, we're going to have the nice, comfortable armrest. Sometimes pressing down on that just doesn't do it justice. But if you put your arm up there on the armrest to give it the armrest test, that will do the job. We will have a small but well, about the size you would expect door bin here. Obviously going to have that on the driver's side as well, but something that you don't see a lot on vehicles, even at this particular price point. Seat memory on the passenger side, but we do have 2 settings there. As you can see, the brushed aluminum door handle right here, and then the M40i logo on the door sill down there. The M Sport seats, heated and power adjustable for the driver and the passenger. And then the gloss black surround on the air conditioning vent right there. A very nice look at the dashboard here. And then a gloveless glove box. I knew there wouldn't be any gloves in there, I told you, but it is called a glove box. I just don't ever find any gloves. The felt material here sure makes it a nice experience to reach your hand in there, kind of luxurious. And then we're going to find our wireless charging pad right there. We're going to have the 12-volt power outlet right here, as well as the what would seem to be lone USB port, but that is not the case, because when we hit the button to open the bomb bay doors here, there is the second option. Going to have the kind of a combination here of the center console with the cup holders and a little bit of space in there. This is not a huge interior, but it's not as small as you might expect. You do have a little bit of additional space right back here. In fact, there's actually quite a bit, and it really is a pass-through, because that's what we were looking at earlier when I opened that through the trunk. And just so you can see, yes, that is a pass-through. I figured I'd come back here and open that area back up so you could see it all the way through. And a quick look at the driver's side door. Basically everything you would expect to find here. We do have a couple of additional switches compared to what we saw on the passenger side. Got your controls for your power side view mirrors, and obviously you can control both windows from here. This is a tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. It is manually adjustable, but you can still adjust it nonetheless. I like the fact that you have the nice large paddle shifters here to work your way back and forth through the 8-speed automatic transmission. And we'll hit the button right here to start the car up. And the good thing about what we have here is that I need to put the top up You don't have to put your foot on the brake. You don't have to do anything fancy here. All you do is hold this button just like this. And look at that. Here comes the top. And there's a reason why I'm putting this up. You can see how quickly that whole process happens. And it lets you know when it's done. It rolls the windows back up for you. As you can see there, all of that is taken care of. Now, there is a specific reason why I wanted to do that. And that is because, well, now you can actually see everything with the infotainment screen and the dash. It does tend to provide a bit of a glare otherwise, so just something to consider. But here's what we have with our dashboard. It does have the protective plastic on there. I'm going to leave that on, but you can still see what is there as far as all that you need to know about the vehicle. You do have your navigation there in the center. That looks very nice. I like that. And yes, this BMW does come with blinkers. So if you are a BMW owner and you're not quite sure what that's for, or any car owner, I see people driving anything in Shreveport, Louisiana that don't know how to use these. You push it into the down position like that, it means you're changing lanes to the left or turning to the left, and the same thing when you push it into the up position for the right. Imagine the novelty of letting people know what you're doing. So you do have built-in navigation, and I apologize for that blinking effect on the screen. It has to do with the shutter speed of my GoPro. It's a common GoPro problem, just so you know what's going on with that and why it's doing that. But we'll still try and give you the best look that we can with what all is here as far as the multitude of features and functionality and different options you have of what you can go through here. There's quite a bit going on, but at the same time, while there's a lot of great technology here, it's still very simplistic, very easy to use, and very easy to learn. If this is the first time you've ever had anything like this, I will put the transmission into reverse so you can see the rear view camera. And one thing I did want to cover right here, here is the shifter for the transmission. I know people don't like push button shifters. You have a combination here with the conventional style shifter, but you also have the push button functionality here for turning different features such as traction control on and off. You can turn off the auto stop start feature, and you can start the vehicle and stop the engine right there. I know for me, I'm reaching out up here out of habit, but maybe not everybody does that. And you have your different driving modes here. So let's go through what we have as far as that goes. Let's see if we can get that to come up on the screen for us. And there we go. We're going to have Eco Pro, not just Eco, but Eco Pro, Comfort Mode, and Sport Mode. That's what I like to drive in. I don't know if you can hear the exhaust from in here. Let's see. Some really good exhaust crackles. I like that. And if you are like Monk and you don't want fingerprints on your touchscreen, well, guess what? You don't have to touch it. You have everything right here for the functionality to go home and do whatever you need to do. You can go back and forth to different screens. You can scroll around with the wheel right here and then select whatever it is you want to do. See, I'm doing it right there. So just in case you were wondering, well, that's what you ultimately have as far as the technology goes. And what about safety features? Let's take a look at that. Again, I think it's a little hard to see, but you can see what all we have. We can configure individual if you want to know what all is here. We're going to have the forward collision mitigation, lane departure warning, steering intervention, kind of like driving as a teenager when your parents would reach over and grab the steering wheel. That was always fun, just made things so much better. Active blind spot detection as well. So a lot going on here, and as you saw, all I did was push that button to get to that screen. Okay, now we're out on the road for our test drive, and I'm trying to get the windshield as clean for you as I possibly can, so hopefully that works. I apologize if it doesn't, but we're doing the best we can with that. A couple of things I did forget to mention earlier. For one thing, we're headed for mid-80s today as far as the high here in Northwest Louisiana, so I was not thinking about the fact that it does have a heated steering wheel. This leather-wrapped steering wheel is nice and comfortable, that's for sure. And you also have a nice, typical of BMW, head-up display. Very, very nice, easy to see, all that good stuff. And so here we go. Let's see how this is going to work. I don't know that I'm going to get to do this the way I had hoped to, but we'll just do the best we can. We're going to cruise through these corners up here, these curves that we have coming up, and I'm not going to have to touch the brakes. That's one thing a lot of people in front of us are going to have to do. And not only that, but I can stay in my lane absolutely no problem. This car could have handled this at such a higher speed than what we're going right now. But unfortunately, that's just the way it goes sometimes. I can't control who is in front of me and who isn't. But we're about to get out on a stretch of road where we can test the acceleration a little bit and see what the exhaust note sounds like from the interior. And you can probably hear that sound. Hear that clicking sound? I have my blinkers turned on. That's right. Wow. Holy cow, it didn't even shift gears. Oh my goodness, this thing was about to really get up and run, but I need to be careful because it is brand new. It's not broken in. But wow. At the top of first gear, it really started to plant me in the seat. That is pretty impressive. I'm going to tell you what, this is a fun vehicle to drive. Now, wow, I'm going to tell you what, that is just so much fun. I'm going to slow way down here and we'll give it a little bit of a punch here. There's nobody behind me, so let's see how that goes. Boy, this thing's trying its best to pick the front end up. Wow. You know, it's such a shame that unfortunately there are a couple of places I could probably go and do a little bit better job of giving a good cornering test and seeing what the cornering experience is really like. I can tell it would be phenomenal just from what little I've done, but we're a little far away from that. I don't want to put too many miles on this particular model, especially if you're going to come in and buy it. You might be upset with me and leave a bad comment. We don't want to do that, do we? But I can tell, boy, this car just hugs the road so well, a lot like driving a go-kart. And one thing that I want to say here, many years ago, a friend of mine, he went out of town for a few weeks and I was tasked with taking care of his Z3, and that was a completely different car. Much smaller interior. In fact, I had to drive, I'm 5'10", so I'm not really tall, about average. I had to drive that car with the top down. I had the top up in this particular car. So the thing is, there's plenty of headroom for me. I've got, I don't know, probably a good 5 inches or so, 4 or 5 inches above my head. And you can lower the seat further than I have it. So somebody over 6 feet tall could easily fit in this car and be comfortable. So if somebody might have that question, now you know the answer to that question. I'm super comfortable sitting here, so absolutely no problems whatsoever. Yep, there is the head-up display. I hope the camera picks it up decently for you. And if we push this button right here, the mirrors fold in. I told you that was there, but I did want to make sure that I showed you. And for those who may have been saying, hey Tom, can you show us what the Z4 looks like with the top up? Well, there you go. So tell me what you think down in the comments section. Is the 2023 BMW Z4 M40i, yes, that is a mouthful, is it the ultimate modern day roadster? Tell me what your thoughts are and tell me why you answered the way that you did. I've got to say a special thanks to my friends here at BMW for loaning me this Z4 for the day. And a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video and would like to learn about other vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.